So let's talk here a little bit about the end of the semester and whatnots. Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. So the problem set for this week is up on the board. I'll get that into my Notre Dame here shortly. The plan for the Chapter 5 test is to do that Monday, Tuesday next week, depending A and B days. We're going to cram Chapter 6 in before the final exam. Chapter 6 will only appear on the final exam. There'll be no test for Chapter 6. There'll be no homework quiz for Chapter 6. There'll be no problems that are required to turn in for Chapter 6. I'll give you all the things that I would have normally assigned and made grades for, and keys to go with them. But we're not going to try to, with the exam and everything else going on, like I'm not going to expect you to actually complete any work for me on those things. So you do have to know how to do it for the final exam, which I think is fair, but I don't need you to like have to grind through 60 problems or something or whatever when I know that that week before final exams kind of turns into a mini exam week for a lot of us anyways. Does that feel okay? So that's gonna be the that's gonna be the plan. You guys cool? Seem fair?
What's the plan?
So Chapter 5 test is going to be Monday, Tuesday next week.
Okay.
We're going to do Chapter 6, cram that in between then and the final exam.
Oh.
Chapter 6, there will be no test. There'll be no homework quiz. There'll be no homework due for it. It'll just appear on the final. Obviously, we'll talk about it and take questions and all that jazz, and I'll give you things that you can work on to practice on. But I don't want to have to worry about more grades coming in and everything else. As a reminder, at the end of the semester, we'll drop a low homework quiz or two. I haven't decided if it'll be one or two yet. And then we'll give you the option to either take a doubled high test score or to retake a chapter test with a maximum score of 85 that you could earn on your retake. I'll have a day figured out that we'll do in class if you're electing to do the retake in between that Chapter 5 test and then the final exam. We'll have a day in class where we'll give you a chance to do that. And I'll get that as soon as I figure out what day that'll be. We'll get that information out to you guys. Although I suspect, as it's been in the past, not very many people want to do the retake. It's usually a handful. Most people are like, I'll take the double tie test score for having to do nothing at all versus having to actually restudy for something. But it's there, it's an option. And as soon as I have a day lined up for that, I'll let you guys know. Okay, does that sound fair? So basically what we're saying is this problem set on 12.5 will be the last problem set for the semester. The Chapter 5 test on Monday, Tuesday will be the last test outside of the final exam for the semester. When I have the exam format sorted out and the review put together, I'll get that to you guys. In the past, what I had done and what I'm leaning towards doing is just recycling exact test questions from your previous tests. Grab a handful, 1, 2, 3, depending on the level of difficulty, from each of the chapter tests that you guys are responsible for, and packaging those together into the final exam. Once I have that sorted out, again, I'll get you the details on that. And again, there is, I have 5 different test versions because I have this section 4 times and then plus the makeup people. I'll be clear as to the version that I'm talking about, that I'm drawing the test questions for your exam. They'd be coming from the test that you took in class, not the makeup version. So some of you might have had the makeup version, but the keys for the in-class version and the makeup version are in the content library. So we can always go back and look at those. So once that gets once we get a little bit closer on that, I'll get you guys the details once I've figured out exactly what we want to do and all that jazz. That sound okay with you? Okay. But that's kind of where I'm leaning right now, and I'll as soon as I kind of sure that up, it'll be this week that I'll get that straightened out and figured out, but I didn't have it done today. Okay. So last time we had met, we had closed up Chapter 5. We had finished all the content for Chapter 5. But I imagine most of us have a lot of work still to do on Chapter 5, which is okay. It's what we've kind of slotted the days this week to just kind of work on. So we'll take Monday and Wednesday minimally to start. To do Chapter 5 things. We'll see what we want to do on Friday, whether we'll take that as a start Chapter 6 stuff as part of that day or just continue to do Chapter 5 things. I need to sit down and look at how much stuff there is in Chapter 6. It's basically a continuation of what we're doing in Chapter 5, though, so it's not a lot of new, just a little bit of keep going along the same lines we've been going, so it's not so bad. Okay. Yeah, so there's that. Do you guys want do we need to do any questions here today about Chapter 5 stuff, or would it be more productive to just I just need to get back into it and start working, and I'll figure out some questions and maybe we can handle a big session on Wednesday for questions? I'm fine either way. I'm just trying to figure out what you guys need. My guess is that probably a lot of us haven't done anything since the week of before Thanksgiving when we were actually in school, which is totally fine. I'm glad you took a break. But that being said, it's probably we don't have a lot of questions left either, or built up right now. So maybe it's best to just let you guys get after stuff. Obviously, if you have individual things, come on up and ask me about individual specific stuff. I'd be happy to deal with that. But otherwise, we'll let you guys work on whatever's the highest priority thing for you. Sound good?
Thank you.
Yeah, you are welcome. You are welcome.